Hey everyone, this is Dale Berkebile, and welcome back to the Tao review. So if you recall from the last, let's see, what was it, 4 videos that we've done so far, I'm doing a series related to the Tao Te Ching, and we're actually talking about some of Wayne Dyer's wisdom in Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And the reason for that is because the Tao actually changed my life. I got involved with it, several years ago, 8 years ago, something like that, I think, maybe. But I'm doing this for Hellagood Life. And Hellagood Life is a platform that I use to try to help people find ways to live the most rewarding and fulfilling life. I believe that the Tao is one of those tools that you can use to change your life for the better. And ideally, let me tell you a little bit about my why so I can tell you how we can use it to change the world. My purpose in life is to challenge you to become to challenge people, I should say, you too, to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. And so in order to become an innovative leader, you need to change yourself. There's ideas in here that'll help you change yourself. We're going to talk about some of that today. So I hope you're interested in being challenged, becoming an innovative leader, and I hope that you're passionate about making an impact on the world, trying to make change. But it all happens here first. It happens here, and it happens here. Okay? So today what we're going to be talking about is verse 5 of the Tao, and it's about living impartially. So I'm going to go ahead and read the 5th verse, and then I'm going to share some thoughts that Wayne Dyer talks about, and then I'm going to share my own personal thoughts about some things and how this could play out and how we can apply it. I may also bring into light some other versions. I have about 3 other versions here of the Tao that have been inspiring as I'm studying each of these lessons and also trying to share them with you. Now, here's the 5th verse. Heaven and earth are impartial. They see the 10,000 things as straw dogs. The sage is not sentimental. He treats all his people as straw dogs. The sage is like heaven and earth. To him, none are especially dear. Nor is there anyone he disfavors. He gives and gives without condition, offering his treasures to everyone. Between heaven and earth is a space like a bellows, empty and inexhaustible. The more it is used, the more it produces. Hold on to the center. Man was made to sit quietly and find the truth within. And so as I've talked about these, for the last couple weeks, as I've talked about these lessons, I talk about the challenge sometimes of a single verse. Sometimes it's very deep. Sometimes it's really hard to understand. There's some things in this one that are quite interesting, but let me share a few of Wayne's thoughts related to this verse. And again, he calls it living impartially. The varied forms of life are illusory as far as the Tao is concerned. So no one is special or better than anyone else. This sentiment is echoed in the Christian scriptures. God sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Matthew 5, verse 45. So it's interesting that he throws in a little bit of the biblical side of things from Christianity. I usually, I like the fact that it's saying that God sends rain on both. So we are all the same. And that's one of the things that I think is interesting in Buddhism as well as Taoism, is that there's this thought of inner being where we are all connected. We are all one. And I like that. I love the fact that, I talk about me not thinking I'm different from anyone else or special. But I will also say that trying to live these ideas sometimes can be quite challenging. We are conditioned to believe that we are better, or we put some people or even ourselves on a pedestal, and in our trying to move forward in society to live a better life, we sometimes make the mistake of putting ourselves on pedestals and finding ourselves better than others, or thinking that we're better than others. And so is that a flawed conception? This is what the Tao is telling us today. Stay in harmony with the impartial essence of the Tao in all your thoughts and all your behaviors. And kind of what I just mentioned there. When you have thought of when you have a thought that excludes others, you've elected to see yourself as special and therefore deserving an exceptional favor from your source of being. The moment you've promoted yourself to this category, you've elevated your self-importance above those whom you've decided are less deserving. Thinking this way will cause you to lose the all-encompassing power of the Tao. Organizations, including religious groups, that designate some members as favored aren't centered in the Tao. No matter how much they attempt to convince themselves and others of their spiritual connection, the act of exclusion and partiality eliminates their function from their true self. In other words, if a thought or behavior divides us, it is not of God. If it unites us, it is of God. Stay centered on this Tao that resides within you. Lao Tzu, again, Lao Tzu is the author. Lao Tzu advises that, the author of the Tao, Lao Tzu advises, and you'll never have a thought that isn't in harmony with spirit. So one of the things that I find sort of interesting about this is, in some religions, women can't do things. And I was just talking about this with my sister last night. And so to me, that is exclusive, I guess is the word. And I also find sometimes within religion, there are different sects. And even within Buddhism, there are different sects. And so anytime that we divide ourselves into different groups, what we're saying here is we're missing the opportunity to experience the Tao. And we're putting ourselves or others above some people. And that's actually, kind of harmful. Offer your treasures to everyone. Eliminate as many judgments of others in your thoughts as possible. The simplest, most natural way to accomplish this is to see yourself in everyone. Remember that you and those you judge share one thing in common, the Tao, or in my mind, life and living. And I talk a lot about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all have needs. We all need the same things. We are all very similar, even though we want to separate ourselves and divide ourselves and judge others. That's what we're talking about here. So rather than viewing appearances, which are really nothing more than straw dogs, see the unfolding of the Tao in those you encounter, and your criticisms and labels will dissolve. Excuse me. Remove the word special from your vocabulary when you refer to yourself or others. If anyone is special, then we all are. And if we're exceptional, then we don't need a word like that to define us, since it clearly implies that some are more favored than others. Boy, that's a powerful concept. Just using the word special shows a tier of hierarchy. That's something to think about. Finally, implement the third step of this process by extending generosity through living the Tao impartially and connecting generously through, connecting with the inner space of being the Tao. Connecting with the inner space of being the Tao. In this space, you'll be able to be unbiased about your possessions, recognizing that they're not exclusively yours, but are rather a part of the entirety. By unconditionally sharing and giving, you'll thrill at the experience of living the Tao and being unprejudiced. The Tao is your truth. It resides within you, quietly in the peace and joy of connecting with the inexhaustible Tao. So that's kind of an interesting concept as well. Our possessions, clinging too tightly to our possessions again can be an issue. But it also talks a little bit about sitting with the space alone, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So, do the Tao. Create a short sentence that you silently repeat to continually remind yourself that you're approaching this situation with an unbiased attitude, which wouldn't it be great if we could all do that, right? And so here are some ideas for short sentences that you can use. Guide me right now, Tao. Holy Spirit, guide me now. Or, Holy Spirit, help us now. Now here's the thing. Keep this brief sentence on a loop in your mind. Keeping this brief sentence on a loop in your mind will prevent judgments from habitually surfacing. But even more appealing is the feeling of relaxation and openness to whatever wants to happen in those moments of impartiality. Guide me now, Tao. Guide me now, Tao. Guide me now, Tao. How can you use this and put this short sentence on loop? You keep saying it and it keeps allowing you to let go of biases or prejudice or separation or judgments. I mean, that's pretty damn powerful because it's a big problem in society, right? Here's the thing. Share your comments down below. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. Do you agree that this is an interesting concept that you should dig into, that you should look a little deeper at? And I also think that this gives us some time. It kind of sets the tone for taking time to be calm and at one and actually meditate, to look internal instead of external. Anyhow, here's what I'd love you to do. Again, share those comments down below, what your thoughts were on today. But also, if you like this stuff, give us a thumbs up. If you know people that would like this, please share it. Subscribe to this channel. We would love to connect and engage and see what you're thinking about. But again, with that comment, we will respond to you with that. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. And peace, love, and respect to you, my friends. Have a great day.